Hello everyone, and welcome back to Forza Horizon 5. Yesterday, I put out a video talking about the most overrated vehicles in Forza Horizon 5, and in that video I said that within a day or so, I would be putting out a video about the most underrated cars in Forza Horizon 5. This is that video. So, buckle up. I'm going to give you my around top 5 picks for the most underrated vehicles in Forza Horizon 5. Now, I do want to clarify some things real quick. When I say underrated, I don't mean like a car that I think is cool that other people don't think is cool, because else the entire list would just be Link & Co. But I mean in terms of performance. A vehicle in Forza Horizon 5 that you would look at and you wouldn't really assume that it's very fast or that it's very good at anything, but when you upgrade it and try it out, it's pretty dang good. So, without further ado, let's get into it. The very first vehicle on my list of underrated cars is the 2017 Chevy Colorado. Now, I already have my vehicle built for when I want to show off, and you might notice something. And by something, I mean the lack of off-road tires. That's because despite this thing being a pickup truck, it's not actually OP at off-roading. Instead, it's really, really good at drag racing. And I will show you why here at the Festival Drag Strip. Alright, drag race in the Chevy Colorado, comparing it to other pickup trucks. And I think you can see why it's on the list now. This thing is unbelievably fast. Look at that speedometer. Look at how fast we're going. It was 220 miles an hour across the line, which, for a pickup truck, mind you, is absolutely insane. You don't see a Ford F-150 doing that. That's why Chevy's just better. Something else that I think makes this car really underrated is that it's got a crazy high top speed, which I'm going to do my best to show off for you now. I've got drag tires though, so that's going to make taking these corners and avoiding traffic a bit difficult, but I'm gonna see what I can do. And here we go on the downhill. 269 miles an hour. Nice. You could probably get 270 if you take a more perfect line. Or if you don't, hit a pole like I did halfway through the run.
Flashback. End of flashback.
But I digress. 270 miles an hour in a pickup truck is absolutely insane. You don't see the Huna truck doing that. There's no Ford F-150 that can do that. Even the 6x6s can't do that, despite them having massively powerful engines. This is probably the fastest pickup truck in the game by a significant margin. And while that doesn't make it OP, it makes it significantly underrated and very fun to pull out at the drag strip and surprise people with, which is something that I've absolutely done before. People just don't seem to know how unbelievably fast this thing is at drag racing, and one of my favorite things is just to sit here in these stalls and wait. Because people will go up there in their sports cars and in their supercars thinking, oh, it's just a pickup truck, I'm gonna obliterate this thing in 10 seconds. Wrong. Because the Chevy is out for blood. It is crazy. This thing is the brand new version of the farm truck. Speaking of which, FH5 and FH6 devs, can we please, please, please have the farm truck as a quote-unquote barn find car in FH6? I know they're not actually barn finds, but I don't remember what they're called, so yeah, please, I beg of you. Having a Street Outlaws DLC car pack, something, would be awesome. That is why the Chevy Colorado is on my list for the most underrated vehicles in FH5. Next up on our list of underrated cars, we have this thing. The Jaguar XE-SV Project 8. Yes, I had to look at the name for this car, because who's going to remember that? This thing is underrated for one very special reason. Well, more than that, but people don't talk about this one reason enough, and that's the fact that it sounds fucking amazing. I am just going to shut up and drive this car and listen to the absolute heavenly engine and shifting sounds. This thing sounds absolutely amazing. It also just looks really, 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 really cool, but obviously that's not enough to make it underrated. But this thing is just underrated in the sound department. The sounds in FH5 are something that, when the sound update came out, people talked about for like 2 days, and then now we don't appreciate it nearly as much as we should. And this car is the perfect example. It sounds amazing, but it also performs pretty well. It's not OP in any sense of the word, but it is just incredibly fun to drive and just cruise around in, honestly. But obviously, for some people, that's not enough to make it underrated. They care about performance. So, my next pick is going to satisfy all of you guys. When you think of a fast drag car, you think of the Pro Stock. You definitely don't think of this, but this is the Noble M400, which is an incredibly unassuming but incredibly fast drag car in FH5. This thing, before the Pro Stock and the AutoZam came out, this was on par with the Diablo GTR, at least from my testing it was. And I've never seen anybody consider talking about it before. Which is really, really weird, because when the 906 came out, and it was not as fast as the GTR, this was not talked about when it came out. And it came out before the 906. But just nobody mentioned it. But it is an insanely fast drag car. It deserves to be mentioned. And to show you just how unbelievably fast it actually is, once again, we're going to go to the Festival Drag Strip, and I will show you. Alright, lined up here with our other cars. We even got Forza Editions in here. Little bit uncontrolled at the start, but it just doesn't matter. You got Vipers, you got Lambos, you got Pontiac Forza Editions, and this thing just far and away, it's clear that this thing is insanely fast. And I'm not even, like, try-harding. I'm barely trying to do this. Like, I am barely trying to get good drag times. I play in automatic, which, as you know, automatic is not good for drag racing. But even then, this thing is just that dominant. Now, obviously, again, the GTR is faster. The AutoZam is faster. The Pro Stock is faster. But you know what isn't faster? The F1 GT, the 906, probably. I haven't put those two head-to-head yet. Somebody who has both these cars, tune them for drag racing, let me know. The Copo Camaro is not as fast as this. The Rimac Nevera is not as fast as... Well, I shouldn't say the Nevera. The Concept 2, I believe, is not as fast as this. Once again, I haven't put the two head-to-head. Somebody do that. Who's better at drag racing, let me know. This thing, definitely an underrated vehicle. Did not get talked about, really deserved to. So that is why it is on the third spot for my list of underrated cars in FH5. Alright, my next pick for the list of under this is not the right car. Okay, my actual pick for the next vehicle that is underrated in FH5 is this. The Porsche 959 Rally Raid. Now, the new Rally Raid, not really a Rally Raid, the new Dakar, when it came out, was really cool. Very cool. I love that car so much. It's awesome. But the new one doesn't really hold a candle to this one, especially in A-Class. In A-Class, this thing is incredibly fast, and it is my go-to besides the Bone Shaker. If I can't use the Bone Shaker, this is my go-to for A-Class off-road. And I'm going to show you exactly why. We are just going to head up the side of the mountain, and we are going to do the race at the top. So I could show you exactly why this thing is so cool. My car just did a flip. Oh, it's tired now. I guess not. Anyway, also, I do realize that the tune that I'm using, it cannot be easily copied. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the share code for this tune in the description of the video. So if you guys want to try it out, you absolutely can. I will also put the share code for the Chevy Colorado in the description. So you guys can try that out as well if you want. And there we go. We are now in first place. This thing is insanely grippy and has some pretty decent speed for A-Class. It handles really nicely. It doesn't understeer. The acceleration is really nice. This is just a really nice car to drive and perform well in A-Class. And I will say, the Bone Shaker is not the most beginner-friendly vehicle for A-Class off-roading, depending on the tune that you go for. This thing just is. Like, this is a car that you can slap this tune on and just rip it, and you're going to do so well, and you're going to have a really fun time. So I highly recommend trying this car out. Once again, I'll put the share code for the tune in the description, so you guys could try it out if you want. But I highly recommend trying this out if you have the vehicle. Obviously, this vehicle is a bit rare. I believe now it's in the backstage, so if you don't have it, you can get a backstage pass from the Forzathon shop or get 40 points in the festival playlist at any time and grab it. But if you already have it and you don't need to do that work to get it, you can just slap this tune on and just have so much fun. Like, this is a great vehicle to just rip it around in. And I highly recommend it. Because, like, as you can see, Like, I'm keeping full conversation, and I'm just absolutely dominating. I don't need to pay much attention to this car. I don't need to focus in any kind of way. This car just does what I want it to do. It's not going to be as fast as the Bone Shaker, but it is definitely going to be very, very fun and very, very beginner friendly. This is a car that, once you get your first backstage pass, spend it on this, grab this tune, and just absolutely bang out all of your dirt and all of your cross-country races, because it's going to be pretty easy. And this is not a car that I see online very much. This is not a car that I see talked about very much. So I think it definitely deserves its spot as an underrated car in FH5. And the last car on our list, this one's a bit of personal preference, but we have the Vauxhall Lotus Carlton. Now, I will say, this is a decently rare car. I don't think it's in the backstage. Let me check. Oh. This was a decently rare car in FH5, but now it's in the backstage, so it's not. But that just means that you can get your hands on it way, way easier. You moron! Out of my way. Anyway, the Vauxhall Lotus Carlton is very, very unassuming. But don't underestimate it. This thing comes stock with a V6 pushing over 300 horsepower, and it can be upgraded to be really, really fast. Of course, it also gets some engine swaps. So let's just take a look at the upgrades for this car real quick. Alright, we are here in the garage. Take a look at the upgrades. Engine swaps. You got the 6.2 liter V8, which everybody knows. Almost every car in the game gets this. You have your Audi. Is that Audi or is that BMW? That's Audi. That's your Audi R8 V10. And then, of course, it gets the 2JZ. Like, 1,270 horsepower in this is absolutely terrifying. But you don't need that. I have mine built up to the top of A-Class. So let's just do a nice little A-Class road race, and I can show you what this thing is all about. Now, I will absolutely say that a portion of why I picked this as an underrated car is because I really, really, really love this car. Like, it is such a nice vehicle. I absolutely love it. I want one in real life. It's gorgeous. But it also just performs really, really, really well. As you can see, let's get into it. We are away. I'm rear-wheel drive, so I don't have quite as good a launch as some of these other people. Out of the way, sir. What I do have is quite a bit of top speed. Once again, I'll put the share code for this tune in the description if any of you guys want to try it. That's a wall. Didn't give me much room to overtake there. But this is just a beautiful car to drive, just corner to corner, apex to apex. And we are across the finish line. And the AI are nowhere to be seen. Now, once again, this car is not OP. This car is not OP. But it is really cool and really fun. So I highly recommend, if you have it or if you have a backstage pass, try it out. You will not regret it. But anyways, guys, that has been my top 5 picks for underrated vehicles in FH5. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. I'm probably going to get a bunch of people telling me that I missed some vehicles that they expected me to talk about. And that's probably true. There's 900 cars in this game. If I forgot one, then that's on me, honestly. Like, there's so many cars in this game to keep track of, and I haven't gone in depth with every single one of them, because what Madman has. I'm already trying to do that with the stock versions of these vehicles that, the times for those are getting closer and closer to being done. I'm hoping to get that video done by the time FH6 releases. Who knows? It's a massive, massive project. So, I don't know how long it's going to take. But, anyway, these have been my picks for the top 5 most underrated cars in FH5. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. And drop your own suggestions for underrated vehicles in FH5 that you may think are underrated because of personal preference. I know that I definitely had some personal preference picks in this video, like this one, and I think the Chevy might also be a personal preference pick. I'm not sure, but I mean, I like the vehicle, but I do definitely think that it is very underrated. Like, it is very, very strong and nobody talks about it. But, anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, share the video, do all the thing YouTubers tell you to do. Check out our other content. We do FH5, soon to be FH6 challenges. We do Warhammer 40k Space Marines 2. And we also do modded Minecraft. So check out all that stuff. We will be doing FH6. Don't you worry. But that's going to be it for today. So thank you all very much for watching. We're going to see you guys next time.